Just ahead on CTV News.
People gathered today in front of this building in Largo to rally against the data center that would be at the old Landover Mall site. Coming up on CTV News, I'll share with you the positive and negative impacts that people say this data center will bring to the county.
Plus, County Executive Aisha Braveboy hosts a leadership summit.
Today we are launching the most ambitious permitting and development reform effort in our county's history.
And Governor Moore stands firm against President Trump.
I know what it's like when all we're trying to do is protect our families and to make sure we're protecting our legacies, and to have someone who is sitting in this office who doesn't seem to be concerned about that at all.
These stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
Good evening, this is CTV News for September 10th. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Jonathan Hunter. Thanks for joining us.
Well, this morning, County Executive Aisha Braveboy hosted a business leadership summit in Greenbelt. Business owners and county leaders were in attendance for the event to learn how to do business in the county more effectively. County Executive Aisha Braveboy also launched a new small business fast track program that identifies commercial projects under 5,000 square feet, such as restaurants, retail, or office renovation, and then fast track them through the permitting process. Braveboy says this process used to take several months and will now take about 10 business days.
Today we are launching the most ambitious permitting and development reform effort in our county's history. And the impact is real. We know that time is money, especially for small businesses trying to open their doors.
The three flagship sites, Six Flags, Northwest Stadium, and Morgan Boulevard, have the potential to bring opportunities, jobs, revenues, and amenities that propel our county forward.
County leaders are working to develop a plan for those sites and how they will benefit the county.
Police are investigating a homicide this morning in the county. Around 8:15 a.m., officers responded near the intersection of Old Colony Drive and Grand Haven Avenue to reports of an unresponsive person. There, officers located an adult male outside suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim was pronounced dead on the scene. Police are still working to identify a suspect and determine a motive. Anyone with any information is asked to call 1-866-411-TIPS. Details of the dollars for detention deal the Trump administration worked out with El Salvador are being made public. According to court documents, the Trump administration paid El Salvador $4.76 million to detain up to 300 men for up to a year in the notorious CTV prison. The deal barred the funds from being used to help asylum seekers, reproductive care, or diversity initiatives. The payments were a part of the Trump administration's immigration crackdown and decision to invoke a wartime law to remove Venezuelan nationals thought to be gang members. Among those detained is Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the Maryland man who was mistakenly taken to CTV and who is now in a detention center in Virginia seeking asylum while the government wants to send him to the South African nation of Eswatini.
Well, a powerful labor union in Maryland is calling its members to stand strong and stick together in the face of attacks coming from the federal government. AFSCME Maryland Council 3 held a town hall at the University of Maryland on Tuesday. During the event, Governor Wes Moore and Comptroller Brooke Learman spoke to hundreds of AFSCME members. AFSCME leadership criticized President Donald Trump's Big Beautiful Bill and is concerned about how the law will impact Maryland's working families.
And as state local governments lose Medicaid funding, there's less money to fund your jobs, to fund public services. You know, for AFSCME members, that means more tax on our jobs. It means more tax on our wages and staffing levels, and a much tougher time at the bargaining table.
We in this moment have to lift up and appreciate the role that labor and the role that unions play in our society, because we do not stand alone, we stand as a collective. We don't fight for ourselves, we fight for others.
Ashby, Maryland Council 3 represents more than 50,000 public service workers in the local, county, and state government and higher education statewide.
In the meantime, Governor Westmore is keeping the spotlight on his re-election bid a day after making it official. Moore says he's ready to defend his record, touting job growth, tax cuts for the middle class, and crime numbers at 50-year lows. He also says he's Maryland's answer to the chaos in Washington, calling out what he describes as Trump's reckless policies and warning Republicans to the race to come. Warning Republicans to come to the race prepared. Moore insists he's not looking beyond Annapolis, saying he's focused on the work here at home and calls being governor a dream job.
Meanwhile, President Trump claims D.C. is now crime-free as his 30-day local emergency ends at 11:59 tonight. The Metropolitan Police will no longer be under White House authority, but federal agents and military gear will remain on city streets for at least 2 more months. The administration reports over 2,000 arrests since the August surge, including 57 just last night. To mark the occasion, the president, vice president, and cabinet dined at an upscale D.C. restaurant. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Jonathan Hunter. Still to come, 5 schools in the county have been chosen to be part of a uniform and school supply giveaway.
After the break, find out the people behind the cause. We'll be right back.
CTV News.
I sat down with the interim superintendent to talk about what students and parents can expect this school year.
As students prepare to head back to school, county police are looking to fill an important safety position.
We have a lot of people fired up about supporting our children.
All 9 sororities and fraternities that make up the Divine Nine are coming together to donate for Prince George's County students.
PGCTV is rolling out their new bus tracker app that shows how students are getting to and from school.
People really want to be here. They know the great things that we're doing here.
These are kids that are literally going to change our world. Yeah, we're excited to have 132,000 students coming back into our doors.
CTV News, bringing you news that you need to know.
I wish people knew that when you live in a small town like mine, it's much harder to find friends with common interests, especially ones my age. I often feel really alone.
Same here. Seems like every time we finally settle somewhere, I have to pack up and move again. By the time I make a friend, a real friend, I have to say goodbye to them.
I totally get it. I live in a big city, but it can feel just as lonely. It's tough, but it gets easier.
Honestly, I totally get what you're going through. It's nice to know that you feel the same.
You enjoyed my story. I really enjoyed your story as well.
Welcome back. Maryland is seeing a spike in hand, foot, and mouth disease, and most of the cases are with kids under 5. State health officials say cases jumped from 74 in 2022 to 145 last year. This year, numbers dipped a bit, but they are already seeing more than 100 reported cases. Doctors at Johns Hopkins say it's common this time of year, especially in daycares and preschools, since the virus spreads easily through coughs, sneezes, and touch. The symptoms include fever, mouth sores, and rash. 5 schools, 625 uniforms, and an array of school supplies. All of it will be given out free to some county public school kids. The City of District Heights, in partnership with the InStyle Hair Grooming and the nonprofit Cut, sponsored their 2nd annual uniform and school supply giveaway. The items will be distributed between 5 county elementary schools, with more to come.
It's a great impact because, one, you don't feel like you're left out. You feel a part, and you have the confidence that nobody's looking at what you have on, but you have the mindset that now I can focus on my education. Not only are we giving them uniforms, but we'll be talking with each of the schools to see what else they need, because we want to expand our reach by giving them more than just what they wear, but also if they need, like it's raining today, if they need boots, if they need umbrellas, ponchos, things like that. We want to know so that we can try to meet other needs as well.
And Gentry says the items will be delivered to the schools this week.
After 2 months away, the Prince George's County Council returns to work with a full legislative agenda, and one of their top priorities is food. From a proposed county-run grocery store to serve food deserts to healthier meals in the county's correctional facilities. CR 89, proposed by Vice Chair Crystal Oriata, would extend the county's task force that would ensure inmates have access to healthy food options.
We can't wait for grocery stores to be willing to come in our community. We have a responsibility to incentivize and to bring the necessities, and that when we talk about necessities, we're talking about access to food, access to health care, access to housing, and I don't think we've done enough when it comes to access to food.
Council members say these measures are just the start of what they hope to accomplish this session, and that residents can expect to see more action in the coming weeks. And yesterday, the County Council also recognized African Heritage Month with a proclamation ceremony. The month is recognized each September by the county, and people who attended came in dressed in African attire. According to Council member Blagay, Maryland is the second most populated county in the state with a growing population of African immigrants.
I just love the fact that we have our people quickly came out to support the African community. We have a growing African community in this county, and oftentimes they felt ignored. So we want them to know that this is their house too, especially with 3 daughters of African immigrants.
A Prince George's County man has been sentenced to 8.5 years in a federal lockup after reaching a plea deal in connection to wire fraud and identity theft charges. 23-year-old Ahmed Hussein was accused of submitting fraudulent CARES Act unemployment insurance claims. The crimes took place between 2021 and 2022. Hussein and his co-conspirators fraudulently obtained more than $3.5 million in unemployment insurance benefits. Investigators say Hussein's take was $500,000. In addition to his jail time, Hussein has been ordered to pay restitution.
Well, the Maryland Department of Transportation is taking big steps in improving bike and pedestrian infrastructure across the state. The department awarded 26 grants totaling $8.2 million. The money will go toward 25 bicycle, pedestrian, and trail projects in Maryland. Through the funds, more than $5 million will go toward 10 transportation alternative projects. Prince George's, Howard, and Anne Arundel counties will get money for its Safe Routes to School projects. And the city of Hyattsville will also receive funds to expand bike parking and safety improvements.
The Montgomery County Planning Board laid out their development plans for a 3.5-mile stretch of University Boulevard. The plan covers the stretch of the road that goes from Interstate 495 to Amherst Avenue. According to the draft, there will be a lower density residential development between 5 bus rapid transit stations. There will also be a higher density mixed-use development near there as well. The planning board chair believes this will improve everyone's experience along the corridor. And still to come on CTV News, gambling slowed down at the MGM over the summer.
That's right. We'll have those numbers for you after the break.
My name's Stacy. I'm 57, and I was adopted in 2020.
We were adopted in 2019.
And we were adopted in 2021.
We had a house, and it sounds crazy, but it wasn't a home. The one thing that Jake and Emma brought is it became a home.
When I met Dakota, he had just turned 14.
You weren't there for the first this and the first that. I missed the first words, but we got a lot of other firsts.
Watching her say, oh my God, I cannot believe I got my license. And she's like, I passed. And I'm like, girl.
See them grow. It is.
They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
You and you.
Kids in the middle.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete, but it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Got one of these hanging on the wall?
you're qualified. One of these, you're qualified too. Love a good checklist? Qualified. 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 Yep, qualified. Because if you know how to put up anything in your home, you're qualified to save lives by installing free smoke alarms in your community. Go to soundthealarm.org to find a volunteer event near you.
Welcome back. Hundreds rallied together in Largo today to stop the proposed data center project at the Landover Mall site.
That's right. CTV's Anaya Falcon shares the negative and positive impacts the new site could have on the county.
These data centers have got to go.
People gathered in Largo today to make their voices heard. The protesters had one goal: to stop the largest data center in Prince George's County from being built at the old Landover Mall site. There were over 15,000 people who signed a petition to stop it. An organizer for today's rally says the data center would have a major negative impact on the community.
A lot of pollution, noise pollution, light pollution, water pollution. The data center is planned to be using, I think, 820 megawatts of energy, which is enough to power more than all the households in Prince George's County combined.
And a councilwoman and rally attendees came out today to also share how data centers will affect utility bills.
Adding something like this here, Congress just said today that AI data centers are going to increase electricity bills by 25%. Now, I don't know about you. I ain't saying that.
Like, it's hard enough to live out here. Like, it's hard enough to get a job that'll pay you enough just to live in an apartment somewhere. So to have billionaires, again, sacrificing everybody else's well-being is terrible.
Although valid concerns were being made, some protesters were misinformed, thinking there was a vote for the Landover Mall data center taking place today. In fact, it was just a data center task force meeting to assess the pros and cons of data centers in the area and offer recommendations to the county government.
This committee does not have any authority over approving or rejecting, but this is solely a policy recommending task force.
One of the people at the table during the task force meeting had a different stance on data centers.
If they're going to be built, we want them to be built union so that they're quality jobs with benefits. And there are a lot of maintenance jobs that go along. Once a data center is built, people think it's just this big empty shell, but it actually produces a lot of high quality electrician jobs, and a union electrician makes in the six figures these days.
Benefits that protesters say isn't worth it.
What kind of human beings would lure us into medical issues like COPD, too many cancers to even list, asthma, bronchitis, and other respiratory illnesses with the promise of jobs and tax revenue?
Protesters say the placement of the data centers are a huge concern for them, and they hope today's rally is heard by the ones who can make a change.
Look at where they've placed the data centers. They're not in the wealthier areas. They're not right next to million-dollar homes, you know? So we don't want this in our community. We don't want this to be there. And I hope that the people who are in charge will see what we have to say.
No data center for PG County.
In Largo, I'm Anaya Falcon, CTV News.
No data center for...
And thanks, Anaya, for that story. And the data center at the old Landover Mall site was approved by the Parks and Planning last year and is in the permitting process. There was a possible bear sighting in Prince George's County. An 8th grader was riding their bike near the Tucker Road Community Center when he claimed he saw a bear. Javon Butler says he saw the bear pop out of the woods. After the two made eye contact, Butler says the bear chased him. He says he was able to get to safety by riding his bike. A spokesman for the Maryland Department of Natural Resources says they heard about the incident, but say they can't confirm anything just yet. But the spokesman believes a bear is roaming the area is certainly possible.
Well, a new report shows that Metro is seeing a big decline in crime. In Metro's fiscal year 2025 annual service excellence report, Crime fell by 43% across the system between June 2024 to June of this year. Overall, crime is down by 50%. Some good news, though. Car thefts at metro stations are down by 60%. Robbery and assaults have each declined by more than 20%. And the transit agency credits the visibility of more police and staff on trains and platforms, data-driven deployment of officers, and the use of crisis intervention teams.
Gambling at MGM National Harbor has slowed down this summer. In August, people who came to MGM made just over $70 million in bets. That's a 6.5% decrease from the previous year. Overall revenue from gambling has seen a slight decline statewide as well. Maryland's 6 casinos generated $170.3 million in August, which is down 2.1% from the previous year. And if you travel on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge this week, be prepared to see some delays. The eastbound span of the bridge is scheduled to be closed today, Thursday, and Saturday throughout most of the day, but will reopen at 5 p.m. During the closures, two-way traffic will be allowed on the westbound span. Also, one lane on the eastbound span might be closed today and tomorrow for a couple of hours. MDTA recommends drivers to cross the bridge during the off-peak hours.
Well, according to a new Wallet Hub ranking, Maryland is the second happiest state in the nation. The state's emotional and physical well-being ranked third highest overall. And community and environment came in 10th and work environment at 14th. The happiness ranking was also based on the state having one of the lowest unemployment rates at just 3.2%. Now, the state also has the highest percentage of household earnings at more than $75,000 per year. Don't move, Simon Buggs has our Wednesday sports page.
That's right. What's going on, Simon?
Hey there, sports fans, and coming right up, Terps volleyball head coach Adam Hughes speaks on the current state of the sport and the Big Ten Conference. That story and more in a bit. Don't go anywhere.
This is my house. My parents helped build it. Now we don't get wet when it rains. I don't get too hot or too cold inside. And I don't have to worry when the winds blow. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. My house. My house. I can play with my sister. I can play with my brother. I can play with my mother, my father, my family. My family. My family. This is my house. This is my house. I can study. I can be safe with my family. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. This is my house. My house. My house.
This is my house.
Visit Habitat.org to find out how you can help more families like mine have a safe, decent place to call home.
Wake up and clear the clutter. Send your old electronics packing. In Maryland, you can e-cycle through many manufacturers or through your county, and usually it's free. Visit mde.maryland.gov/e-cycling to find out how to recycle electronics in your county. mde.maryland.gov/e-cycling.
Our individual voices are powerful, but not everything has a voice. Let us be a voice to the voiceless, the caretakers our home deserves. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that when we all come together, the sky is the limit. It's time to speak up for nature.
Okay, everybody, we begin your Wednesday sports page with some volleyball news. Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Penn State. These are just some of the elite volleyball teams in the Big Ten Conference that Maryland will have to compete with. And the conference has added even more talent over the last couple of years with the additions of teams like Oregon and USC. There's no doubt that the Big Ten is a very deep conference, and head coach Adam Hughes gave his thoughts on how the conference has evolved over the years and what's like being a part of it.
You got a lot of people who are contenders for national championships. I think over 50% of the national championships are now within the Big Ten. And so with that, a lot of people are trying to chase success and try to build up programs to catch up to it. And then, you know, from my time in the conference, everyone from the bottom has improved. Everyone has gotten themselves into a place where, you know, it's a really tough league. And, you know, we talk about that and needing to be consistent in practice every day because, you know, you got to show up every day. And if you don't, you know, you could be the one picking somebody else off or you could get picked off yourself. And, you know, that's something that we have to contend with on a match-to-match basis.
Maryland will open up Big Ten play when they face off against Iowa on September 25th. Meantime, freshman forward Rocket Retarda has been lighting it up on the soccer field for head coach Sasho Sharovsky. And after Maryland's 4-0 victory over Pacific this past Saturday, the Georgia native has been named Big Ten Freshman of the Week. In the matchup, Retarda recorded a goal and assisted on 2 others while spending only 28 minutes on the pitch. His 4 assists through 3 games also gives him the highest assist per game average in all of D1 men's soccer. He and the rest of the team will return to action against Wisconsin on Friday. And sticking with Terp soccer, head coach Sasho Sharovsky, who has been at the helm of the team for over 30 years, has coached hundreds of players. And the impact he's had on not only the players that have come through, but also the program as a whole cannot be overlooked. This 2025 Terps team has multiple new faces on it, one of them being defender Lassie Kelp. I caught up with the German recently, where he touched on what made him want to come to College Park, as well as what it's like being coached by Sharovsky.
Coach has been one of the main reasons why I wanted to come here. I think on our first, on my visit, we had a talk here where I could truly see his obsession with winning. And yeah, it's on a daily basis, it's just really demanding and challenging, which really helps me to grow and develop as a player.
And switching gears to the WNBA, the Washington Mystics lost their final game of the regular season last night to the New York Liberty, 75-66. Washington finished the season at 16-28 and will be at home come postseason time for the 2nd straight year. And in MLB news, the Baltimore Orioles came out on top against the Pittsburgh Pirates last night, 3-2. Game 2 of the series will be held tonight at 6:35. And finally, the Washington Nationals came away with a win last night also, beating the Miami Marlins 7-5. The two teams will match up again tonight at 6:40. And that is your Wednesday sports page. See you guys tomorrow.
Thanks, Simon. Let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight will be cloudy with calm winds. Tomorrow it'll be mostly sunny with a high near 80. Friday will be sunny with a high of 80 and a low of 59 to kick off the weekend. Saturday will also be nice and sunny with a high of 80.
And for our community calendar this Saturday, Bowie is hosting its International Festival. World cultures and nations are celebrated throughout the Bowie International Festival in different ways, including dance and musical performances from around the world, multicultural activities for kids, unique goods, and a wide variety of foods. This event takes place from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Allen Pond Park. But for more information, contact 240-544-5639. And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks so much for joining us.
We're going to see you again tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.
A teacher.
I'm a farmer. I'm a barber.
A waitress. A mom. We're all part of your community. Every day we move in and out of each other's busy lives.
It's easy to take for granted all the little moments that make up our everyday.
Some are good, others not so much.
But that's life. It's when you experience a moment of uncertainty. Something or someone's behavior that doesn't seem quite right.
These are the moments to take a pause.
Because if something doesn't feel right, it's probably not. It's not about paranoia
or being afraid.
It's about standing up and protecting our communities.
One detail at a time.
Because a lot of little details can become a pattern.
We
trust our instincts.
Just like you should.
Because only you know what's not supposed to be in your everyday.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.